Michelle, how are you doing?
Hey, good. Happy to be here.
Good, good. Isn't it a beautiful day outside? We live in the same town, so
You're
waving
just down
to
the
you
road.
there, waving to you through the screen out the window and over there. Yeah, and today's beautiful. I took my boys wanted to go biking, so we went up to Lake Crabtree and they took off on mountain bikes. And my daughter and I brought our stunt kite out to, they have a big field by the lake. So in North Carolina, if people haven't been here, it's all rolling hills where we are, really steep rolling hills. And wherever you don't mow or pave, there's a tree. And it's a 100-foot tree. So there's no clean wind anywhere. So this is a lake and a big field, and the wind was coming off the lake enough that we had enough clean wind to get our stunt kite up. And it was fabulous.
I'll have to tell the boys because my husband and son fly their stunt kite too.
Oh, nice.
So we have Bond Park right behind us.
Yeah, they only have, as far as I know, that one big field, but it's down in a bowl completely surrounded by trees. So I've never been able to get clean wind there. Yep, nice though. So how are you coping?
You have good days and you have not so good days.
Yeah,
but not too bad. I'm surprised.
Out?
A bit of balance. I've been surprised. I mean, the big difference for me is I work full time as well. So, I was able to jump in the shower right before this this call because I went walking this morning and then got home and I was on conference calls from like 8:30 till now. So the shower just before this call was the first time I even had a break. So balancing that.
Is it two boys at home?
A husband and a son, but I call them my boys because
yeah. Is your son doing okay with school?
Yeah, he's 12, so still needs a little monitoring because if you leave him to his own devices, electronic devices comes into play. But no, he's doing well. I think he's actually enjoying the self-learning pace by himself because he's more of an introvert in the classroom setting. Just as disruptive for him. So, which is not a good sign because he may want to homeschool later, and I am not homeschooling.
This has been an excellent test run for anybody who has thought about homeschooling. I always knew there's no way I ever wanted to homeschool. And I adore my children, they're fine, but too much is too much.
Yes. Yeah, so he wants to do it by himself and he has learned how to use Google Meet for his classroom activities and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he's doing fine. PE is still good because it forces him to have to keep a schedule. So he has to exercise, which I think is good for him. So him and his friend go bike riding.
Excellent.
But yeah, no, he's doing well, surprisingly.
Good.
I think us introverts don't have I actually enjoy being at home, being an introvert, because my job is not really for the introvert. So I enjoy that. I will say I'd like to see more faces other than my husband and my son all the time. So I've started turning on video cameras more just so that, we can connect a little different.
What do you do for your regular job?
I work at a software company and we are doing consulting projects and right now doing a lot of data analysis and statistics around COVID-19 for healthcare and retail industries and you name it, banking. So that's been kind of the big area at the moment. Not surprising.
It's a lot so different than your quilting life. You're a quilt teacher and I've seen your work and it's fabulous and beautiful and it seems so different than your 8-hour-a-day life.
Yes. Yeah, it does play a little bit in because, I come from a science and math background, so that it's the only art form I've ever done that includes both the more math side with art. So yeah, I enjoy that piece because it's painting and other things. I didn't get that, it was so different from my daily life. So
I'm always actually not surprised at how many scientists I know who are scientists and engineers who are also quilters, and often not just the geometric measuring numbers kind of quilters. I personally think science and math and those things are very creative fields. They're just a different kind of creativity.
You're always problem solving.
Yeah.
So that is creative in itself.
That's kind of what creativity is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's having ideas and putting things together and just figuring things out.
Yes. So yeah, so it ties in quite nicely.
Nice.
And you know, I have 2 styles. One is more minimalist, which that's definitely more my analytical brain, I think, ties into more the minimalist side because it takes a lot more thought, and to get a good minimal piece, it's a very iterative, more on paper, and then it's the making side of it. Where the other side is improv, which I think is more my creative side and my stress-free tends to be my stress-free avenue when I need a break, is I switch to improv. So
have you been working on anything during the pandemic stay-at-home that we're in?
I have found that one that's really energizing me is I meet with a couple of friends on Sunday, every second Sunday, every fortnight. That's every second Sunday for the American.
I love that word, but that's not a word Americans use anymore.
Yeah, and we do Zoom, and we kind of do our sew-ins together, but just not together. And we choose a project to do, just a small project that we can get done, usually try to get it done within that period, maybe one more extra day. And that's been actually fun, just to have something finished and done. So I have something.
Yeah.
So I made the Juniper Basket that has a drawstring.
Oh, on top.
On top. Right now it has all my mask stuff in there for storage. So that took probably about 4 hours in total, about an hour to cut. So that was a nice project that we all did and started together. And this past week we did, I made oven mitts for my house. And I was so excited. My husband thought I was crazy because I was walking around with my oven mitts.
I find making really practical, useful things. And I'm an artist who does not make practical quilts, ever. Well, I can't say ever, because I actually made a quilt this year for a bed. So, for a couch. It's not big enough for a bed. But when you make useful things, especially out of your very favorite fabrics, it's kind of even more fun because you get to touch them and see them and use them all the time instead of just put them nicely over there if you have wall space.
Yeah, I've been dying to make these for about 6 months, so I was so excited when I finished them. Maybe a little too excited.
It's all right. It's all about all those small pleasures now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but because of that one activity, it mean I actually, this past couple of weeks, I've been going back to some of my whips that are outstanding and quilts that I haven't finished. I just finished quilting one that had taken me, I looked at the date when I started it because I keep a quilt journal, and it was a year ago. So this one I've been quilting since November, and it's 1/2-inch straight lines, and it's what, 65 by 80 something. So it's big for 1/2-inch.
Yeah.
Straight line
Do you
quilt.
do it on do you have a domestic machine or a long arm?
Just my domestic.
That is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Those lines.
And it's this one here.
Ooh.
So it's huge. And it's got lots of bright colors. So
oh, those are lovely.
It's on my Instagram feed. So I've really enjoyed just breaking up the projects, and I might have to continue it. Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that you were saying I started it last November, as though that's forever ago. Because I have things that are like, when did I start this? Oh, 8 or 9 years ago.
I've got better. So I've only been quilting 7 years. So I did finish a couple of quilts earlier on in the year that I gave away
Mhm.
that were 5-year-old projects.
Mhm.
But I will say, I think in my pile right now, except for one project, they're probably within the last 2 years, maybe 3.
Michelle, tell
Yeah.
me, tell me about this quilt journal. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, so I have this journal that it's a sketchbook that I bought. It's Sarah Watts. I bought it off Amazon, and I love the paper thickness because it's just when you use glue, it doesn't crinkle too much. So
Oh,
it's got nice thick paper. But yeah, I keep everything in it. So everything from inspiration to design to fabric swatches, templates if I've made my own templates, design notes, start finish dates, how I quilted it. So just a general journal of each project. The fabric swatches has helped a lot because I usually write down who I use or what color it was if it was a solid. So I've used
mhm.
it several times to find that same color again and
Oh, nice.
reuse it. But so this is one of the quilts, Manicured Gardens. I don't know if you can see, but I can also send you pictures.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely. Hold it still there for a moment. You can see the whole thing. Okay, the other page,
And the other page has the templates.
designs and the fabric and all the notes that you use. That's such a good idea. When I
And this
first
is
started,
sorry, and this was just one more example from an improv. So I have little sketches,
uh-huh,
and then I put in the fabric swatches and
no,
the images. So yeah, and I do that, and I've just hit 50 quilts. So not all of them are finished. I've got 31 finished.
that's so cool. When I first started quilting, I started right after I had my first baby. And I had like 2 minutes at a time ever to do anything. And I kept a little notebook and just took, you know, back when we had film cameras, I
Yeah.
would take a picture, just take a picture of every finished project and put it in this little notebook so that I could look at the end of the year and say, hey, look, I did a thing that did not get immediately destroyed and undone. I did
Yeah.
something that stayed. And it was a great idea. And I haven't really done that for years. Well, I guess I have a website now and a blog, and so it all goes up on there. So it is recorded, but I love your idea.
I need that tactile response.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I use a Canon IV printer, so that just works off my phone. So if I've taken a picture, I can print straight away and put it into the journal
Oh,
for both images and final pictures.
that sounds cool.
Yeah,
It's really
I enjoy it.
nice. During, you probably have less time for quilting now than you did before because you have to work and do school and and all the usual things. Do you find that true, or do you have more time?
I think I have less time,
Mhm.
but I think I'm using my time better.
Yeah.
So my day job is probably my phone. For some reason, people think phone calls now can be any time from 8 till 8 p.m. instead of just your 9 till 5, which is fine. But we have 2 device-free days. So once we hit 5 o'clock, everyone puts their devices away, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we have family game night on Thursdays. Tuesdays usually some kind of exercise, or we just go on it, have our own time. And then Friday we do family movie night. So I think we're using our time better, even though that we might not have as much time.
Yeah. I have, well, my husband, who also works in the IT industry, has always worked long hours, and now we can see him. And he's still, now it feels like the hours are even longer now because he's just there at his office all day now. Yeah, it does feel like it kind of bleeds over. But for us too, it's been really nice to have everybody stays home and does things together as a family evenings. It has been really nice. What I ideas or advice would you give to other quilters out there who are trying to balance kids and job and the things they want to do for their quilting life?
So it's funny because last year I went through a bit of a personal crisis, and I thought I was going to quit my job, and I just was not balancing things well. So I had taken a couple of weeks off to just kind of reflect and decide what I was going to do and take some me time. And I had it all planned out because I wanted to start exercising again and all kinds of other things. And I had this schedule planned and realized that by the end of the 2 weeks, so many things went wrong with that schedule that I thought I was kind of okay to be flexible, but I realized that I needed a different level of flexibility and just take one day at a time. And I think that because I went through that last year, this period has been a lot easier because you just take one day at a time. I mean, it's good to have a schedule, but don't get upset when your schedule doesn't work out. It just does. You just have to be flexible. Things will come up, and everybody has needs right now. Sometimes I might have to spend more time with my son just to listen to him talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, which, by the way, is some card game I still don't understand. Even though we've had several conversations about it for several hours. So I think it's about being flexible. It's a good time to try something new. I mean, I think that's why people are making bread and other things, is because one, you're stuck at home, what are you going to do? And two, I think there's so many resources we have available to us today that if you wanted to learn more about Illustrator, or you wanted to start drawing again, or something like that, choose one thing and play with it. And even if you choose one thing a week or something, but I think trying something new, it's the perfect time.
Yeah. And then also be flexible.
And be flexible.
If it doesn't,
don't get upset if it doesn't work out.
Yeah. And the one day at a time thing, I really like that, because we don't know what the next year is going to be like. And maybe it is the best time to learn something new, and maybe it's just one of those days where nothing is working and everybody has needs, and be okay with yourself if you didn't learn the thing you thought you were going to learn that day as well.
But I do think you can't forget about still having your own time. As mothers, I think we forget that a lot, is to book in the time of saying, okay, everybody just leave me alone. So I took half a day off next Friday because it's Mother's Day weekend. And I decided I'm going to have a long weekend.
Nice.
So that's what I did for myself.
Enjoy it. That'll be great.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful and delightful to talk to you, Michelle. I appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Thank you. Next time I'll have to be La Femme for coffee.
Yes, face to face.
Face to face.
Yeah, I look forward to that. So keep quilting, keep working, keep being your fabulous self. And thanks especially for the idea of the Quilt Journal. I think I should try that.
Yeah, tell me how it goes.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.